What's up, guys? Another TFT Coaching session. This time, the player actually started a little bit. They're recording a little bit late into the game, but they said, they started Talia with a sword and got offered 2 Olafs from Orbs? I don't know why there's only one here, because, like, you could honestly hold both. Oh! I don't actually agree with this. Start from the top. My favorite way to play Olaf, personally, I have to re-click this to make it go 2 times speed, I believe, is Olaf with Astral Opener, and we had it. I think you just lose the first few rounds, play Astral Opener at level 4. I don't really even care about Braum, honestly. I'll get him later, honestly. You know, the Braum will come back. But you play Olaf with Astral for the first few rounds, make a bunch of gold. Then, round 3, 2, you actually pivot to a strong board. This isn't the worst, but yeah, I would personally just play the Olaf Astral Opener. It's a little bit weaker this patch, but still very fine. But yeah, like, combat training Olaf? I'm pretty sure it's combat training. Thrill is also very good. Actually, let's look at the stats. This is something else you can do with stats that's really useful. Go to Tactics.tools, pull up Olaf. You can look at augment win rates with him specifically. Combat training 4.36 average placement. Golden Thrill is 4.51. I would say combat training on 2-1 with an Olaf already is insane. I would just take this. And then you don't even need to sack him as much, but I mean, it's still good too. But yeah, I mean, this is a fine board in itself. And this will get you more combat training stacks. You can even slam Giant Slayer here. It's actually a really good Olaf item if you want to play for combat training. It's kind of awkward, actually, because you want Olaf to kill units, but you also don't, you also want him to die. I mean, I think this is fine. Probably with the regular positioning, we have a 69% chance to win this one, but I'd pick up the Lilia by selling the 2 Sennas, personally. I mean, definitely. I mean, best case scenario, you get, like, Leona in next level, right? Wukong's good, of course. Alright. So, Olaf's a funny comp. Sometimes you don't hit, and that's life. But you can do your best to make it so that you do hit. But, you know, I've had games where I play Olaf where I'm just like, I didn't hit this game, and I kind of bought forward, and that's maybe just, you know, life. But considering it's a D2, D3 game, I'm sure there's more we could have done better. Silas is an amazing unit. Put it in over Skarner. We make gold and play Silas. Sin over Skarner, and then we have 7 units on bench, yeah. We should just put this over Skarner and then make gold. He's, your late game board involves Silas, so getting him in early would be nice. He can farm a few combat training stacks, which doesn't really matter, but the big thing is just getting Silas in right here. If we don't play Silas here, we should sell him to make 10. But it would be really, really nice to make 10 gold here. Yone's farming some stacks. Nice! Holy moly. It's rough. It's really rough if we don't make gold here. If we win, we could make gold by selling the other 2. Okay, sell Silas then. But we should have just played Silas, and then we could have sold Skarner and these 2, made income. But yeah, making 10 is important. So, yeah, you're looking for Hodge. Makes perfect sense. I'm also, like, kind of down for just Rod Diana, personally. Okay, Bo Rengar's not bad. Actually, Bo Rengar's really good. RFC. Fair enough. I mean, I would have already slammed Giant Slayer at this point, but RFC is good enough. I mean, it is great. It's very good. I'd play Jax over Skarner here. We can also level up. But it's Leona over Skarner here, right? You get Mirage in and Guardian. Kind of a big upgrade. Okay, I mean, RFC is an insanely good Olaf item, so I don't hate this. Because we greeted the items early, it actually works out for us. Now we can go for, like, insane in-slot Olaf, like RFC, IE, Hodge. So, we were a little greedy with items, but because we were losing fights early, it's totally fine. I just personally find, like, the higher in elo you go, the more you get punished for greeting items, so I'm, like, always not greeting items, so it's fine. So, like, Twitch is probably actually better than this Lilia here, but I do want to hold the Lilia, so I think this is fine. But, like, if you had the gold, I would play Twitch, personally. But it's, yeah, we can't really. Okay, we always lose this. Our streak kind of sucks. Loss, win, loss, win, loss. You go into neutrals with literally no streak. Like, I think we could have played a much more smooth early game if we just played Astrals and Lost Streaked, but it's not the end of the world. But it's not ideal, of course. Okay, another Jax is nice. We've, like, decently rolled units. Our items are really good. So, and we need to pick that Wukong back up. Jade can be pretty easy to get into this comp because you play, you know, like Wukong Jax early. Let's see what we hit. Olaf almost killed that. Rug. Warmogs. Oh, we hit an Olaf. Not bad. I wouldn't actually make gold here. I would just hold a Wukong. Okay. I mean, second Olaf off orbs is pretty gross. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I'm actually fine with this Warmog Slam. Not the best in the comp, but you do need some kind of frontline. Jax is a good holder of it. Yeah, I mean, you'd rather Warmogs than, like, Redemption Slam, definitely. The thing with this comp is you have to make sure you're not contested. I don't know how much scouting we did, but, like, playing this comp contested feels really bad. So, it looks like we're fine, but, you know, if you end up contested in this comp, it is problematic. Yeah, we have Scalescorn and Warrior in, which is really good. It means we can get Augments for either one. Oh, wow. Maybe a Radiant. I kind of think Radiant Relics. I feel like the value of Radiant Relics, 3-starring your units, is so good. But once again, let's actually just bring the stats up and see. The CB is quite good. 4.115 versus Radiant, which is, it won't tell me. Oh. 4.54. So this CB's a lot better. I'm down to take CB. They're actually pretty close to having good Olaf items. Yeah, I would just put this. It's slightly worse over Jax, but I mean, we can actually just hold it on bench and then put it in later. Yeah, we should go level 6 here, but it should be for this, should it? Because, I mean, we already have 3 Bruiser in. Isn't it better to just play like a Twitch here? Or we still want to play the Leona, right? Leona? It's just such good synergies, right? Especially because, like, the Leona is actually kind of a threat because we're giving him combat training. I think this is around the point where I'd actually stop sacking the Olaf. Especially because he's a big part of our damage. I mean, we're 82 HP, so we can sack him a little bit longer if we really want to. But, like, with RFC, it's kind of annoying. I'm actually, like, not against selling Jax here, personally. He's going to come out at level 7 anyway. And I'd love to make 30. It's not offensive to not do that, though, of course. Yeah, I feel like if we, like, were playing Leona instead of the 2 Jaxes, we could have made 30 there, and then we could make 40 here. Kind of a big econ difference, which is really important with this comp, because the thing that's going to stop you from hitting is just going to be your econ in every Olaf game. You know, if you had infinite gold, you'd always hit Olaf. It's kind of a stupid statement, but it's true, you know? So, yeah. But this does look like an insane spot for Olaf. But, I mean, I've had games that look like insane spots for Olaf and then peter out. So, we want Glove. Actually, we need 2 gloves, so, yeah. Glove here is great. Do you slam Hodge or do you slam IE? I think it's Hodge. The sword's a bit more flexible than the tier. It's way more flexible than the tier. Oh my god, and we natural Olaf? Okay, there's no reason we should buff for this game. I would personally slam Hodge here because the sword can become Giant Slayer, it can become IE, it can become Bloodthirster, it can become... Those are probably the best one. Edge of Night, but not really here. What can the tier become? It can become Hodge, it can become Protector's Vow, but that's, you know, like, then we have to put that on someone else and not Olaf. It can become... Like, everything else kind of blows, doesn't it? So when slamming items, you should really think about, like, the flexibility of your items. People talk about item economy, like how slamming this item will affect your future items. And so I would slam Hodge here because sword is a much more flexible item in this comp. Okay, with Olaf 2, I mean, we're on a 2 loss streak. It's fine to lose the next 2. Okay, but yeah, we naturaled Olaf 2. Like, my bot 4s on Olaf are when, at this point in the game, I've seen 1 Olaf. That's the Olaf I found at 2-1. I feel like there's... I mean, we'll see how our rolls and stuff go, but yeah, I feel like we should actually be just chilling here. Yeah, like, I don't know, sacking Olaf this long is a bit scary, right? We have... Like, I would just second row the Olaf so that he gets maximum not tanking. And we'll be chilling. Yeah, we want to hold everything. We actually have 3 pairs here as well for our scales. So good. What is that? Is that a Skarner with Mage Spat with Ionic? Pretty funny. I mean, their board's kind of gross. Hold the Yone. Hold the Yone. Why don't we hold Yone here? We're going to play him for a long time. I would, at least. I don't think we can actually sack Olaf here, but if you want to, you can move him up 1 hex. You can put him here so that the wolves kind of surround him, but I don't think it's possible. You can also think about taking out Bruiser to make it easier for him to die, but I'm pretty sure a 2-star Olaf never dies here. Especially with Celestial Blessing, right? Yeah, not even close. Varangar, who cares? Okay, we can see what happens here. If we had slammed Hodge, then we have the sword to play around, and we can easily slam Giant Slayer, Ionic Spark. But because we have this tier hanging out now what do we do? It's rough. Renan's is good, but then we're stuck with these 2 items, which aren't very good. So, I mean, like, I guess it's Renan's. Roll a bit here for a slightly better board. I would personally continue to roll here. I think there's way too many upgrades that we can hit from this spot. We can hit 4 Scale with Diana. We can hit 4 Warrior, but I mean, we need to find 2 Warriors for that to happen, so it's not that likely. We can hit 4 Bruiser. Like, there's so many upgrades for us to hit here. I think it's pretty reasonable to roll. You're going to greed the Ionic here, but I think Renan Slam makes the most sense. Or if you really want to, you can slam Ionic. But this is pretty greedy to not slam a 3rd item on Olaf when he's already got 2 items and he's 2-starred. Okay. But yeah, we're pretty low here from all the greeting on Olaf that we did, and the fact that we didn't roll here. I'm, like, not even offended by rolling this Augment, but I don't know, Celestial Blessing's fine, I guess. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. But yeah, I would take Yona here and roll a bit. Try to find our board here, because we just don't really have it yet. It's interesting, this is kind of the opposite of last game, where we're not rolling here. And I think it's because you want to stay above 50 and make 50 gold. But yeah, I'm kind of interested, because last game, you didn't roll at all, really. Or you rolled too much, like you rolled it to 0 every round, and it was kind of your downfall. And I feel like the opposite's happening here, where you're not rolling at all, and like our board's just far too weak to survive during stage 4. You need like a few really crucial units. You need to hit like Pantheon and a Warrior, or you need to hit like Diana and some other stuff. But like, yeah, not rolling at all here is very problematic. And I mean, you can see you're just dead. And I don't know why you don't want to make Yone too. The unit's good in this comp. That's good. We skipped the Diana. Skipping Diana is not very good when we could get 4 Scalescorn in. Okay, Pantheon is good, of course. Okay, I think you're unfamiliar with the comp, so this is just a learning game. Zoe's actually really good as well, because you can just fit Mage in very easily. Like, I would play Mage over Nyla here. Like, couldn't your board very easily be cut Nyla for Mage? Or you don't even have to cut Nyla, actually. It would be cut this, play Pantheon, Zoe, Nyla. But we still need Diana, right? So it'd be cut, Diana, Zoe, Pantheon, and then you just play the two Warrior variation. That would be way better. But yeah, we missed too many units on this rolldown. But I think it's just lack of familiarity with the comp. So yeah, like, this is our board, but wouldn't the board be 10 times better if we just had Pantheon in here, and then instead of Nyla, we had Zoe in? Like, Zoe's so good in this comp. And she can actually use some of these AP items. We already have a Braum on board, right? I don't really care about... Like, Braum 3 I feel like is kind of a waste of gold. I think rolling here... Yeah, I mean, we just missed too many units. Yeah, I personally wouldn't even make Braum 3. Okay. Well, we're looking for a bow item here. I guess Giant Slayer, and it's on an Olaf. Love. Interesting. Oh, you're still tunneling on Hodge? I mean, we have Celestial Blessing already. But honestly, just take the Olaf with Sword. How many Olafs do we have at this point, actually? The problem is if we miss Olaf 3, then we're down an item. We would be 2 Olafs off. Okay, I think it was pretty easy to hit Olaf 3 this game, actually. But yeah, like, you tunnel vision on Hodge, but I don't think that is really that good. You need to be more flexible with your items. But I mean, Ionic Spark's very good, of course. Okay, so we actually got to a decent board. The problem is we needed to have this board, like, 2 rounds ago. I mean, we wouldn't have the full board, but we would have had a good enough board. But now we're, like, super broke. And we don't even have the strongest board we could have, because we skipped over Pantheon. But yeah, like, I honestly think this game you're just unfamiliar with the comp, which is a thing that happens. And so you just need more games on it. I think you even said in your note, like, you don't play Olaf very much. Which is fine. Like, this is just a learning game, honestly. And that's life. Like, you can't expect your first game on a comp to be very good. Unless you're a god of the game. But, like, yeah. I just think, like, the mistakes you made make sense as someone who hasn't played the comp. You were trying to roll down quickly, and you just missed crucial units. I honestly think it's better to slow down your roll in these situations. Like, there's really good players, like Asa, who just won the most recent NA tournament, Dragon Cup. He rolls slow as fuck. That man is a boomer. Like you can just roll, like, it is better to roll slowly and hit all the units than to roll quickly and miss the units, because then what the hell are you doing? You're just wasting your gold. Speaking of rolling, I would roll this. Not very good. We're just looking for, like, Diana and frontline items. It's pretty bad, too. Pretty bad, too. This is pretty good. This is good enough. Banshee's Claw, Banshee's Claw Titans. E-Claw, Diana. She's just a tanky Diana. Okay, it's good. We hit the Pantheon. Okay, nice. We were 2 Olafs off. Ooh, I wouldn't put that on Diana, though. You just put it on Nyla so that we have good items on her. And yeah, I guess... Oh. I don't agree on this either. Though I do kind of like items on Panth, but I would probably just put the Warmugs on him, and then Titans Declaw Diana, because she's just going to be more tanky as a 2-star unit with 4 scale in. Especially as a Pantheon 1. Okay, with the Pantheon pair, it's almost okay to roll. I still would hold a little bit. I would sell a Nyla here if we don't win. Because, like, locking means it's going to be so hard to hit Olaf 3. And you have to hit Olaf 3 to win. Whereas Nyla 1, Nyla 2 in this situation, she has 0 items. It's kind of no diff. I think we're going to win, though. But now we don't have to lock at all. Awesome. Okay, and now it definitely makes sense to just roll to 0 every fight. Okay, I like that you spread your Olafs out to trick people so they don't see them. You're at 15 HP. Sell. Okay. Nice. Okay, so through all the trials and tribulations, we actually managed to hit Olaf 3 here. And he has... That's fine. And he has 3 items. And he has combat training. Just imagine if we were in this situation with, like, 15 more HP, though. Like, isn't this game, like, a first? Or, like, maybe a top 2, depending on the rest of the lobby? Like, holy moly. Still, though, pretty good spot to be in. I think you said you end up going 5th this game, which makes sense. You have a really strong board, but you'll probably just end up fighting someone who's insanely strong and then, like, dying somehow. Or, like, maybe there'll be a positioning flub or something. Yeah, personally, I would just... Oh, I don't really like... Oh, okay. But this is fine. I would like some kind of frontline in front of Olaf, personally. Yeah, this looks fine. Yeah, I mean, we should win all these fights. Nice. And every fight you win, he's stacking up that combat training. Holy moly. But I mean, I guess we lose at some point. Pantheon with blue buff? Panth 2 with blue isn't even bad. I would take Panth 2 with blue, personally. And you just put the blue on, like, Diana, Silas, something like that. But yeah, like, I don't know. Let's look at this fight, how much damage that... I mean, this is a really good item. Not bad. I wouldn't group up so much. I'd actually move the Silas a little bit. Just because being this grouped up, or just move one of your other frontliners. Like, perhaps move, like, Pantheon here and then Braum to this side. But, like, being this grouped up, I know you want to get your most value out of this, but, like, it means, like, Jace... I mean, actually, Jace doesn't CC anymore. But, like, if you fight a team that has AoE CC, you're going to get a little bit wrecked by it. This is actually a pretty unfortunate fight. The Deja actually turned on your Yone. Or your Olaf. Yeah, that's pretty rough. But, like, wouldn't having a Braum... literally what I was talking about here, wouldn't having this Braum here make it so much harder for the Deja to walk up on your... Because, like, instead of the Deja walking around the entire enemy team, it's going to get stuck here. Like, that's another benefit of having the front line spread out. Just saying it. I feel like that would have helped so much. Because now the Deja wraps around here, kills the Lilia, and then it's easily on your backline. Because, you know, it's RFC Olaf. But, like, if you had just had a Braum here, then the Shiryu walks up here, and then it aggroes on your front line after killing the Braum. Which is a huge difference. Yeah, like, let's look at how much damage Diana actually does in this fight. Because I'm going to bet it's not an insane amount. I mean, she lives till the end, though, so maybe it's a decent amount. 5,000 damage? And now, like, think about, like, how much of that is actually from the Assassin buff versus just adding a Zoe one here instead of the Nyla here. And, you know, like, in that fight, Zoe might have Kale ulted or Janna ulted, and it would have CC'd away the Shiryu, and your Olaf would have lived. Like, compared to how much damage your Olaf is doing, which is, what, 9k? I think having the CC from the Zoe is just way more important. Yeah, like, I still just don't like being this grouped up in the late game. I think late game, it's often a mistake to group your team up this much because you're just so susceptible to AoE garbage. Like, I feel like this Yasuo is eating good here. Like, he gets to CC your entire team for free. And they have a 6 Zoe ult here. Okay. Close fight. But yeah, you end up going 5th. Okay. I think this is a really good game to review, actually. I think as far as roll, it was kind of an opposite game from last game where you didn't roll enough. So this is a situation where you can look at the game and say, okay, I did not roll enough in this situation, but it's pretty easy. Okay, maybe it's not easy, but like, I think it's quite reasonable to look at your board here and say, how the hell is this board going to survive? You have two-starred units, you're playing 2 Brahms, you have 3 Bruiser, 3 Scalescorn, 2 Warrior. Like, yeah, how is this board going to survive 4-1? Like, imagine if you just roll down here, even to like 20 gold, or maybe even to 10 gold, and stabilize your board. Also, the item slam was an issue, because if you could have just made Hodge Giant Slayer here, instead of Hodge IE, like, 15 rounds later, not 15, but, you know, like, 3, 4, 5 rounds later, you'd save so much HP. And yeah, I think it was really just the rolling here. And then also just the roll down, we missed so many crucial units, but I think that's just a Olaf familiarity thing. I mean, honestly, going 5th, like, in an early game where you're not very comfortable with Olaf is pretty good. But, you know, the improvement comes from here. I would also say, like, if you're unfamiliar with this kind of comp, roll more slowly and roll earlier. Like, you could just roll now if you want to roll next round, and just roll slowly and look for all the units, because if you roll and miss a unit, like if you roll once and your shop has a Pantheon in it, and then you roll again, you've just wasted the gold. Wouldn't you rather just only roll once there instead of rolling twice and then click the actual unit? I would imagine so. Yeah, this is a really cool game to review. I think there's a lot of really good stuff in here. And I hope this was all helpful for you. I hope this is helpful for people on YouTube as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, you can always go to my Meta 5 for coaching. Link is in the description down below. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.